The legend is back. Again. But this time, it's not a nostalgia trip. It's a declaration. The 2026 Hummer H1 is here, and it's not trying to impress with F-badges, city cruising gimmicks, or soft-edged adventure lifestyle vibes. No, this is the rebirth of the OG. The war wagon. The truck that looks like it's been shot at and shot back. Only now, it's been rebuilt from the ground up, re-engineered with today's tech, torque, and tactical grade capability. And on this episode of Build and Burn, we're not just reviewing it. We're stripping it down, modding it up, and beating the ever-living hell out of it like only this channel can. Let's start with what it is and more importantly what it isn't. The 2026 H1 isn't a reissue. It's not a cosmetic update. It's a full redesign by General Motors under their Extreme Utility program. Yes, it's still based on a military-spec chassis, but this time, it's reinforced with a new high-strength steel backbone and modular aluminium body panels. Everything is designed for torque, function, and abuse. It still sits wide over 87 inches across with portal axles, full-time 4WD, and 16 inches of ground clearance straight from the factory. This thing makes a Jeep Gladiator look like a crossover. And under the hood, we're looking at serious business. The 2026 H1 comes with two available powertrains, both designed to laugh in the face of terrain. Option 1 is the 6.6 litres Duramax diesel V8, paired to an Allison 10-speed automatic transmission. Output: 500 horsepower and 910 pounds-feet of torque. All diesel. All grunt. All day. Option 2? A 7.4 litres naturally aspirated V8, pushing 610 horsepower and 645 pounds-feet of torque on pump gas, designed for higher speed desert runs and less complex field maintenance. No turbo, no hybrid, no excuses. Both options are trail-proven, overbuilt, and pre-tuned with multiple drive modes, including rock, sand, Baja, and a customizable mapping mode that lets you assign throttle curves and diff-lock behavior to individual settings. And let's talk about those portal axles. These aren't carryovers. These are new-gen hydroformed assemblies, developed in partnership with Dana. They deliver both ground clearance and torque multiplication at the wheels. Combined with the low-range transfer case and factory lockers on all four corners, the 2026 H1 is a torque monster in technical terrain. This thing doesn't just go off-road. It demands it. Now, let's talk suspension. The H1 features a fully independent suspension system, upper and lower ray arms with long travel coilovers and electronically adjustable dampers. You can raise or lower the ride height by up to 5 inches on the fly. Need a little extra squat for a trailer hitch? Done. Need maximum clearance for a rock shelf? Hit the switch. Simple. Wheel travel is over 15 inches, and you've got hydraulic bump stops integrated into each corner. This isn't mall crawling fluff. It's race-proven tech repurposed for overlanding, recovery, and punishment. Tires? From the factory, you're getting 38-inch BF Goodrich KM3S on forged 17-inch beadlocks. And yes, the wells are cut and clearanced for up to 42s, no lift required. All you need is a tire swap and an air gauge. Try doing that with your average SUV. Now let's step inside. Yes, it's a Hummer. But this isn't the bare metal, elbow-bashing, no AC setup from the 90s. The 2026 model is fully modernized, but without compromising on function. The cabin is washable, complete with removable rubber flooring, drain plugs, and marine-grade synthetic seating that's both heated and ventilated. It's built for mud, water, and desert grit. The dashboard is utilitarian but tech-forward. A 14-inch central display runs a stripped-down, latency-free OS focused on off-road telemetry, trail mapping, tire pressure, pitch, roll gauges, locker status, and winch control. No games. No bloatware. Just what you need. There's also a dedicated switch bank, physical toggles for air lockers, light bars, sway bar disconnect, winch spooling, and power takeoff units. Because the last thing you want when you're sideways on a rock ledge is to scroll through a touchscreen menu. There's a new digital rear view system with 3 angles, side view terrain cameras, and 360-degree trail cams with an underbody wash function. These aren't gimmicks. These are tools, and when you're guiding a rig this wide through tight technical sections, every pixel matters. Now let's talk about how it performs in stock form. We took a factory 2026 H1 through 3 environments: high-altitude rock crawling, deep sand dunes, and tight, muddy forest trails. On the rocks, this truck dominates. The approach angle is nearly 50 degrees, and thanks to the portal axles, you can climb boulders the size of your hood without diffing out. The torque delivery is low and smooth, no surging, no turbo lag. Crawl mode lets you set a speed under 2 miles per hour, and the truck manages throttle and braking on its own. It's like cruise control for rocks, only smart. In the sand, the story changes. We aired down to 15 pounds per square inch and ran long sloping dunes. Even with its weight over 8,500 pounds curb, the H1 never bogged. The long wheelbase and wide track actually helped with stability. And the gas-powered version had enough top end to crest high-speed sections without heat soak or power fade. In the woods? That's the challenge. The width makes tight trails a dance, and you'll want a spotter. The steering is precise, but you're still navigating a vehicle designed for open terrain. That said, the turning radius has improved, and the independent suspension soaks up roots and washouts without tossing you around. After our initial shakedown, it was time to go full build and burn. Here's our H1 upgrade list. 42-inch Maxxis Tripaders 3.5-inch suspension lift with adjustable arms and limiting straps, King 3.0 bypass shocks, full underbody armor with Kevlar reinforced skid plates, front and rear custom tube bumpers with tow lugs and winch cradles, worn 18K winch with synthetic line, dual ARB onboard air systems, one for lockers, one for tires. Tools, 1200 watts solar system integrated into roof rack, custom mol panel storage and cargo slide system, rooftop tent with an Exxon water purification tank, external fuel tanks mounted in quarter panels, engine snorkel with cyclonic pre-filter, 12-volt fridge, ham radio, and full satellite GPS kit. The goal? Independent expedition capability. This isn't a weekend toy. This is the kind of rig you load up, point at a map, and disappear for 10 days. Every piece of gear was tested under stress. Every mod was installed for function, not flex. And when we were done, we hit the burn phase. We took the built H1 through 3 punishing runs, the Rubicon Trail, Black Bear Pass, and a 2-day slog across the Mojave Road. Here's how it performed. On the Rubicon, the 42s and lockers made short work of the boulder gardens. The articulation was unreal. We kept all 4 tires planted, even on off-camber edges. The winch got used once, not for us, but to pull a broken take-home off a ledge. On Black Bear Pass, the H1 proved it can descend slow and safe. Hill descent control works, but we relied more on low gear and smart throttle. The weight demands respect, but the suspension soaked up the switchbacks without bouncing or bottoming. In the Mojave, we cruised high-speed sections at 45 to 55 miles per hour for hours. Dust? No issue. Heat? Handled. Electronics? Rock solid. And the solar setup kept the fridge, GPS, and cams running without touching the battery. There were a few moments of pain. The fuel range, even with extra tanks, still meant we had to ration. We averaged 7.8 miles per gallon loaded. And despite the upgraded shocks, the weight makes it easy to overload a corner if you push too hard. Also parts access. This isn't a trail fix-it rig like a Wrangler. You blow a half shaft? You better have a spare or be ready to wait. But for most mechanicals like belts, hoses, fluids, the engine bay is big and accessible. Plus, the onboard diagnostics system is top-notch. So is the 2026 Hummer H1 the ultimate overland platform? Let's break it down. Pros. Extreme ground clearance and off-road geometry. Real powertrain options, diesel or gas, both torquey. Portal axles plus lockers equals unbeatable crawl performance. High build quality, modularity, and electrical prep comfortable enough for long-haul expeditions. Pre-wired and ruggedized for serious mods. Finally, a modern off-road with zero compromise on capability. Cons. Price. Base is $115,000. Fully built? Think $180K, $200,000. Size. It's massive. Some trails are just off limits. Fuel consumption is brutal. Weight makes it less nimble. Not for DIY beginners. Complex systems require experience. But here's the deal. If you're serious about remote travel, recovery work, or expedition-level trail running, there are few vehicles on the market that can touch this, especially when built right. The 2026 Hummer H1 isn't for influencers or coffee runs. It's for builders. For those of us who prefer tire smoke to touch screens and recovery ropes over cup holders. We're keeping ours. And we're not done yet. Next up is a rear axle swap, long-range fuel cell, and maybe even an onboard welder. Because out there, the only thing you can count on is what you bring. If you want to follow the build sheet or grab templates for the bumper and armor we fabbed, hit the description. We've got full PDF blueprints available.